You're as aware as I am that the Manipur issue has been an issue for the last 4 decades. It certainly has the highest attention of government and the Prime Minister. We're working at it every single day, but it is a legacy issue.
There was a great push in the Northeast by the Modi government. The Prime Minister described the Northeast as Ashtalakshmi also. Um, but we have Manipur. The violence has been almost unabated since May 2023. So we are almost 19 months of violence. So your ministry, for instance, you look at development in the Northeast, but a precursor for development and a prerequisite has to be stability and peace. So what is the role of your ministry now? I mean, what is the challenge you face with this kind of unrelenting and prolonged violence in one state of the Northeast?
So I think I'm glad you qualified that. Uh, I think it would be a misnomer and misplaced to say that the Northeast has probably gone through the longest period of tranquility and stability and development, probably in its history, in the last decade under Prime Minister's leadership. Number one. Number two, you're absolutely right. The Prime Minister's prerogative and his focus on the Northeast, which was earlier seen as the last fringes of our nation, to becoming the first touch point of our nation. It's a viewpoint which has completely changed the way the Northeast was perceived and is perceived. The Prime Minister himself, the only Prime Minister in our country to have made 62 visits to the Seven Sisters and Sikkim in his tenure of a decade. 62 visits. No Prime Minister in their tenure has made so many visits. If you look at the capital expenditure that has been put forward by Government of India, the Northeast was an area that received from my department close to about, in 2014, 2,000 crores as budgetary support to donor. Today, it's upwards of 6,000 crores. So there's a 3x multiplication there. If you look at the 10% gross budgetary support that all balance 54 line ministries have to give to the Northeast, that figure used to be close to about 20,000 crores in 2014. It's today 1,03,000 crores. From a sectoral point of view, you had 9 airports in the Northeast in 2017. There were 2 states that did not even have an airport 70 years after independence. Arunachal Pradesh and Sikkim didn't even have an airport. They had no air connectivity. Today, all states in the Northeast have air connectivity. From 9 airports, in 10 years, we've gone to 17 airports. We've converted many of our ALGs, advanced landing grounds on the border areas, if you catch my drift, into civilian airports. On railways, we've got close to about 16 projects that are ongoing with a capex of 88,000 crores. 10 years ago, we used to roll out 88 kilometers of rail lines per year. Today, we are rolling out 168 kilometers of rail lines per year, a 3x multiple. The highest rail bridge in the world is being built by our Indian Railways. We are drilling through mountains to provide access by rail in the Northeast. On roads, we have built 45,000 kilometers of roads in the last 10 years with a budgetary support of 50,000 crores. 6,000 crores of national highways. We had a single one waterway. The mighty Brahmaputra runs through the Northeast, to name one river. We had only a single waterway in the Northeast. Today, we have 20 waterways in the Northeast. This, for you, is just a vignette of the exponential growth that the Northeast has seen in terms of development. Private sector participation. India, for the first time in her history, is doing backward integration and setting up fabs in India. Inconceivable. No one could dream of it. Prime Minister resolved that we need to set up semiconductor fabs in India. Where is the first fab being put? In Assam. 40,000 crores. One single investment.
But Minister, Manipur.
Well, Manipur, let me tell you, Vandita, is not something that's happened yesterday. You're as aware as I am that the Manipur issue has been an issue for the last 4 decades. It certainly has the highest attention of government and the Prime Minister. We're working at it every single day, but it is a legacy issue. We have to face that. That doesn't mean that you step away from it. You have to confront it and you have to resolve it to the best of your ability. But we are working at it. But in the interim of that, the Northeast has to grow as a growth engine of India. And it is geographically amazingly placed. Our East and our South fully connected with the Northeast. Why can't we're thinking of building highways that will go all the way down to Myanmar and Bangladesh? Our coastal shipping area should go from ports in Bangladesh straight to Calcutta. So there are tremendous possibilities, which is what this government is working on. But at the same time, you do have issues. There is no government that is not faced without issues. But we will try and resolve it to the best of our ability.